All right, so in this lesson, we're just going to go over some of the basics when it comes to our selection tools. The selection tools are an integral part of Photoshop and are going to be an important skill set that you need to learn in order to create the documents that you want to create in Photoshop, especially when it comes to working with images. So within Photoshop, we have a total of 9 different selection tools, and they all do something very basic, which is allowing you to select something within your document. So up here at the top, we have our first set of selection tools. Within it, we have a total of 4 in this drop-down menu here. So these are known as our marquee tools, and they will allow you to either create a rectangle selection or an elliptical selection. You can access these tools with the letter M. And then just below that, we have our lasso selection tools, and we can access different tools within this menu as well. And let's quickly go over how to use each one of these. So the first one allows you to draw out your selection freehand to allow you to quickly select the subject that you're trying to select. Our next selection tool is the polygonal lasso tool. Now with this tool, you're going to click and drag out a line that will allow you to create a polygonal shape if you want, or any type of shape you want, to make your selection that way. The other lasso tool is our magnetic lasso tool. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to show you how this works. Now we could select our couple or our subject, whatever it may be, with our lasso tool, and we can try and draw around our subject to select, but you can see I'm not doing a very good job, and I'm selecting inside and outside of the couple, so it's not going to be a very good selection. Our magnetic lasso tool makes it a little bit easier. So what I can do is I can click on the outside that I want to start my selection from, and then when I start to trace, I'm not holding down my mouse button right now, I'm just tracing out the outline of the jacket. We can see the selection is snapping to that coat, and it's adding anchor points as I go along. So it's magnetic. It's snapping to the area that I want to select, and it's doing that because the contrast level between the jacket and our sky is very different. It's brighter in our sky and darker here, of course. So this tool knows that there's a contrast level difference between the two sides, and it's going to snap along that line of contrast difference. Now to complete our selection with this tool, we have to go all the way around the couple and back to the original anchor point to click and select it. So that's another selection tool that you're going to probably be using as you work on your documents, but it may not be the best tool for the job. That's why we have to learn about all the different selection tools, practice with them, and then you'll have a better idea of which tool will be better for the job. For example, what if we wanted to select our sky to replace our sky with clouds? Well, we could do it with the lasso tool. We could do it with the magnetic lasso tool. But we have another tool here called the wand tool that will do a better and faster job. So the first one is the quick selection tool. The other is a magic wand tool, and they both will allow you to make your selections a lot quicker versus the other options we've already gone over. So the letter W will select this tool, and this is how it works. You click and drag out, and it starts adding to your selection. And boom, just like that, I have the entire sky selected. If I delete that, you can see that I selected that part of the sky. So that's a lot quicker than using the magnetic lasso tool and trying to go around everything, right? But if we take a look at our magic wand tool, it's even quicker depending on the tool options that we select. One click and I have a large selection, but I don't have all of the sky selected like I did with the previous tool, and that's because of my tolerance level. I only have it set at 35, So it's going to select less of the sky unless I increase the tolerance. So if I change that to 150, I'm going to go ahead and deselect. And now when I click, it selects the entire sky. So it's looking at the different contrast levels based on the area that I clicked, and it's going to include the colors and the contrasts of that area from where I clicked from to make a larger selection. It increases the tolerance of the information that it's reading when you click. Now if I delete some of the couple as well, so it's actually selecting a lot more than I want. But because his suit and her dress or whatever else is very similar to the sky, it's going to select that as well. So a tolerance of 150 is too much, but there are other tools that we can use to make the selection process much easier or faster, or to even refine our selection. And that's by using this little option right here, which is known as the quick mask mode. So when I click on that, the selection turns to a red color. We can actually change that color of that mask by double clicking on it, and then we have a color option here, and you may want to change that red color, which is the default color, to something else when you're working on an image like this that was shot during sunset. So if I change this to blue, click OK, and then turn it on, we now have a blue color or a purple color versus the red color, and it's easier to see. So this is how this would work. So we make our quick selection with the quick selection tool or the magic wand tool, but it's selected too much and we don't want to select our subjects. Well, what we can do is we can grab our brush with the letter B, and let's go ahead and go up here and lower the size of our brush. And we can paint with white or black. And white is going to remove, and black is going to add to our selection. So if we take a look right here, my foreground color is currently black. If I click on this little arrow right here, it changes the foreground to white. Or I can click on here and select black here, click here and select white. So white removes. Since I have white on my foreground, I can remove from that selection. If I go out too far, then I can switch to black and then paint with black, and that adds back to my selection. So if I turn off the quick mask mode, we can now see that my selection has been adjusted based on the adjustments I made in the mask. So if I want to remove the selection here, I'm going to paint with white. So I'm just going to do this real quick with a larger brush. And then once we get out, we see that part of the selection is now gone. Again, you're not going to learn how to master these selection tools overnight. It takes time and practice to learn how to use the selection tools and know which one is best for the particular project that you're on. These are just the selection tool basics, and that's all we're going to cover for right now. In the next lesson, we're going to take a look at our retouching tools.